Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we are celebrating 50 years with Marvel Legends series Wolverine. And so far we've had 4 packs released, a 5th one later on, and there's Astonishing Wolverine coming out at some point, and teasers of other Wolverines as well. So we begin with in fact, they all look really good. So but I've gone with this one, particularly because I love the look of Sabretooth, and I was very excited to get this and have a close look at it. I love that there are claw marks on the thing, revealing comic or, you know, beautiful art there as well. We have this lovely, stunning piece here of the 2 figures. Marvel's Logan's and Sabretooth, and they've sort of taken some inspiration from, I can't even see that, it's so small, from Wolverine. I still can't see it. Anyway, you've got, I think this is the birthday issue where Sabretooth comes to torment Wolverine on his birthday, as he does now. And I think I feel like the fight starts in a bar or something, so perhaps this. But they've gone for a classic look in terms of Sabretooth rather than the civilian look. And we've already had a shirtless Logan that you could probably use to try and reenact this if you wanted. As regenerative mutants, that was terrible, involved in the Weapon X program, Sabretooth and Logan's feud continues long after Logan's escape. Yeah, there's been some interesting moments between these characters, particularly one where Sabretooth was acting, did he think that Logan was his son? Yeah, there was that as well. Yeah, loads of feuds, etc. But when they first meet, they sort of don't acknowledge each other, that they have this long-term feud, and it comes apparent over time, etc. in a new thing. I'm not sure if Wolverine actually remembers exactly. So we just get pieces of it gradually over those years until obviously House of M, Decimation, where he remembers everything. So let's have a look at these 2 figures. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to address was other packaging. These look fabulous. But size is probably a very important thing as a collector, because you read, damn it, Wolverine, stop falling over, because you read these comics and you know, you've got an expectation on the size difference between them. Wolverine was always short. Oh my goodness, what are you doing, man? Stop being naughty. Stop it. I'm so sorry. This is not how I intend to start my reviews. And don't get me wrong, I know they don't go smoothly. Right, let's get to the backdrop. We'll go back to size in a minute, because he's just completely thrown me off. So behind it, you have all these comic pictures, etc. from that issue that we showed. I thought that was a very cool idea. The other thing that I forgot to mention is they do have windows for this set. So if you're a mint in box collector, they are very cool. Right, so Wolverine, do not fall over. So size was very important. So I remember 2018 Sabretooth. I was very excited about him. We had the Sabretooth that had been off the back of the Venom mold for a very long time, and that did its job for a very long time as well. So probably well over 10 years. So it was nice to get a different size perspective. Now, I do remember when this figure was released, I was very critical of the height, even though he was bigger than Wolverine and some of the Wolverines that we had at the time. It didn't feel like he was as big as perhaps he should be, or as bulky as he should be. So very important. The release of this is absolutely on point in terms of height, size, build, colors. It looks absolutely phenomenal. And don't get me wrong, we're only talking maybe half a head here. We're not talking lots, but it's a whole piece together, and I felt it was very important to show these 2 together to show the difference in height, because like I said, at the time I was very disappointed. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is still an impressive Sabretooth. It just you know, you look at this one already, you know you've got the right height there. Let's just quickly bring in some other Sabretooths while we're here. So this was Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth, which is perhaps a whisker bigger than this. Obviously a sort of alternative dimension. And you know, and this was the sort of height that we strive. However, you know, this being slightly smaller, I think works really, really well. And then we've got Skinny Mini, early 80s or late 70s Sabretooth, first appearance Sabretooth, which sort of was like that. And you know, once again, I think that one actually works really, really well. A little bit weird. So, and then let's just bring in 97 Wolverine, because this is the Wolverine that I think of when I think of the Sabretooth. It's these colors, it's, you know, the animated show. Don't be wrong, I'm a big comic fan of X-Men if you haven't watched any of my videos before. But you know, this is the matchup that I imagine, and I'm surprised. I know we've only just had this. I'm surprised that they simply didn't have this in this box set, because, and then this Wolverine with a human sort of Sabretooth, that would have been unique. But no, they've gone down this route, etc. So, Sabretooth. Let's have a closer look now that I've got that out of the way. So we've got this sort of violent, growling, snarling, white-eyed Sabretooth, clearly in the midst of a battle with Wolverine. I mean, I will look at articulation in a minute, but I feel like this is a solid piece. I don't feel like this is going to come off compared to the 2018 where it's removable. You know, you got the nice stripes there on there, and this, you know, this was one of my favorite things when I was a nice kid and I first found X-Men and I was first reading X-Men. You know, I always loved reading this Sabretooth, and you know, for us watching that animated show, you know, he was a big part of those first sort of at least 2 standalone episodes I can think of the top of my head, you know, where, or actually maybe 3, where he's quality. Now you're not going to get his head all the way around because you have this piece behind there, but there is some nice movement there, nice movement on the arm. You can lift that up like so. There is a butterfly in there, which is greatly appreciated because now you can get him in some decent pose. There is double on the arm. That came up really, really nicely. Nice spin on the hand. Up and down like so. So you can get those really good claw movements in like so. He does have a nice ab crunch as well. So you can do that. And sorry, that was my growl. I've been watching Teen Wolf. Don't blame me for trying to want to howl. And he can almost do a split, which is normal. A nice swivel there. He does have pins there. This isn't a pinless leg, which compared to the pinless arms is a little bit disappointing, but not the end of the world. I don't know whose legs they've reused there. You get a lefty, a righty, nice up C, and a down C. And look at that, you got nice paint apps there. Paint apps are on point with this figure. They just, you know, they haven't let us down. Don't get me wrong. This is in my mind, I guess a reasonably expensive set for what you consider perhaps a deluxe figure. So apologies for that. Cutting off the video. So what I was trying to say was, in theory, this I believe in my mind is a deluxe figure, probably priced around 34 in the UK, and then this is just a single release, probably about 25 these days. So the price does sort of marry up. I mean, I still don't agree with the way the price have jumped, but you know, that's just me not wanting to spend a ridiculous amount of money on the hobby that I enjoy. But you know, I think we're probably all in the same boat. So I've just quickly brought in Sabretooth's other head, which is just sort of like a creepy smile, which I like rather than the aggressive, you know, fight face. And then you've got the hands on there as well. So different style hands for perhaps a more lenient conversation where he's perhaps trying to intertwined Wolverine up. Now, let's have a look at this Wolverine as well. So first up, my biggest gripe is you can't take the hat off. Ridiculous. Why would you have his hat rocketing off in the sort of the promo pictures on the back, but not on here? I find that absolutely ridiculous because I want to see the lovely hair underneath. Yeah, I can't pry it off. I'm sure somebody can, but the worry is underneath there's no hair. It's literally just a top of a head, etc. Maybe that's one of the reasons why it stayed off. The other thing, gripe that I have with this is you have literally a very similar head, just with a black hat, and you have no sort of growly head. Now, there have been plenty of Wolverines with growly faces, etc. You probably could take one of those, but I don't see, we're talking about one of perhaps the bloodiest fights between Sabretooth and Wolverine, if what I think is this based off. So why wouldn't you give him some sort of anchor, man? I don't know. But I just wanted to point that out. So he has this nice shirt. So don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of this civilian sort of look. I think one thing that we all wanted to see was the X-Men animated show sort of look as well. But this isn't bad, if you want him just in the mansion, just, before they go into battle. Sorry, my claws just popped out. That is irritating. But I think that means that if you are a collector of the full metal claws that I think Marvel Legends UK sells, I'm not sure how often they sell, etc. But that means perhaps you can get them in there. I've never tried it, to be honest with you. I've always meant to, but I just never got around to it. Head can go round, can go up. There's no butterfly in there, which I think would have been cool, considering the fight poses that perhaps you want to do with these two. Double on the elbow. There we go. Very tight double. Swivel on there. Lifty, uppy, and downsy. He doesn't have an ab crunch, but he has rotation there. And then he has it on the waist as well. He can not almost do the splits. Swivel on the thigh, double, and they are pinned as well. So the arm is not pinned, the leg is pinned. So, which I think is a little bit disappointment. But they've gone with that for both figures, so I guess they've used these legs from probably another Wolverine, let's be honest. And this body's probably from another Wolverine. I love the fact that he's got a nice hairy chest there. Nice detail on the buckle and the buttons. And the shirt does look pretty cool. I think they've done a really good job in creating a sort of a civilian, other than my gripe earlier, a sort of a civilian Logan, perhaps in somewhere where there are bars where you can go get some bourbon, I guess. Looks pretty cool. The other thing I wanted to do was bring in the other Wolverine, which is similar to this, which is based off Wolverine versus Juggernaut, etc. And this was a sort of a cowboy-ish look as well. So you can see there's probably a difference in head sculpt, etc. Real difference, etc. This is a little bit skinnier, whereas this looks a little bit more goblin, which sometimes he did look like a goblin in the comics. And the skin tones are different as well. He's got his hairy arms out, etc. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was going to say, is the bottom bits the same? I don't think it is. But yeah, just I just thought I'd bring them both in because I felt like, that was pretty cool that this was similar to this one. And, I'll probably do the same when I get a Patch out as well. I'll show, hey, they tried doing this with Patch once and they did a bodge job. But yeah, I like the look of this. So let's put his alternative hands on and hold in the cards. So just to finish off with Wolverine. So even though we don't get the growly sort of face that I think we all perhaps would have liked, we get the second head, which I have shown, and the black hat. We also get a couple of different hands without claws coming out of them. And of course, these very, very savory cards, which are interesting with the X in there. And then obviously a little bit closer, which I think is quite cool. I know a lot of people have been selling this figure off. I particularly like the cards because I think of Gambit. I'm not going to get him out because at the moment he's being held by my Sentinel in my my cabinet, and it took a lot of work to get it to how I wanted that to look. But yeah, I think that's nice. You could use Gambit holder these. It would have been cool to have a single one. I think just one that's not been kinetically charged, so to speak. And, you know, I'm just very selfishly thinking of Gambit when it comes to these cards. I'm not thinking of Wolverine at all. And that's just another reason why I like this pack. So for me, these two are great. Sabretooth is the must from this 2-pack, but the Wolverine's not such a bad Wolverine in my mind. I'm definitely gonna just keep him just for those civilian and messing around scenes, etc. But you know, I feel like if I had a couple of flight stands, I could do perhaps a little bit better, but I went for a good old-fashioned whatever you had for breakfast Wolverine Sabretooth moves, etc. So there we have it. So if you like my video, please do support my channel by subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you to those already subscribed to my channel. Appreciate you folks a great deal. Make sure you look after yourself, and as always, embrace the geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.